Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska women's basketball team is going dancing as a 6th seed and is taking on 11 seed Texas A&M. This is the highest seed the Huskers have been since 2014, where they were a 4 seed. Amy Williams' squad is coming off a hard-fought overtime loss in the Big Ten Championship against Iowa 11 days ago. Coach Williams was asked today about how the team is getting ready for the big dance.
I am incredibly excited for another run with this team. We just had so much fun at our Big Ten tournament, really having a lot of things come together and play our best basketball. And it feels like it's been a really long time since we got to tip it up. And so we're just super excited for the opportunity that's in front of us. And I love coaching this team so much. And to have that opportunity again here tomorrow, we're incredibly excited to get it going.
Tip-off between the Huskers and Aggies is set for tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. in Corvallis, Oregon on the HRN. The Nebraska wrestling team started competition in the NCAA championships today and went 8-1 on the day. This brought their team score to 14, which is currently second best in the nation behind Penn State's 15.5. Due to the poor forecasted temperature on Friday evening, the first pitch of tomorrow night's Nebraska baseball series opener versus New Mexico State has been moved up to 4:05 p.m. There are 16 games in the NCAA men's basketball tournament today, including Michigan State defeating Mississippi State 69-51, Oregon defeating South Carolina 87-73, Duquesne upsetting BYU 71-67, Illinois defeating Morehead State 85-69, Creighton defeating Akron 77-60, Arizona beating Long Beach State 85-65, North Carolina defeating Wagner 90-62, and Dayton taking down Nevada 63-60. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, drives the ball, third defender comes, can't score it. Put back in on a tip dunk, high in the air above the cylinder, with a jam with the right hand. Jawan Gary.
Runners second and third, 2 outs. 1-2 the count. The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Brian Webb with the 3-0 pitch. Drilled into center field. Long run again for Verduzco. Onto the track. Looking up, and it is gone! Home run, Josh Caron's second home run of the night. This one a 3-run blast to right center field.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz. Knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
How's your bracket, everybody? Mine's busted up a little bit after some results from the afternoon, but it's underway. The madness, the great month of March, is about 6 hours into the works right now. We've got a full show of talking some college basketball. I'm in studio. Jessica's with the Huskers in Memphis, Tennessee. How are you doing? How's the trip been so far?
It's been good. Despite this team not being here before, they are very businesslike, handling things like they have all season. But yet they're still a fun group. So it's been fun. This day is a bit of a whirlwind because it's like practice day and interviews and all that good stuff. So today's been a little while, but also met the new AD today. But it's been fun though. This is my favorite sporting event ever. So I am so excited to be here with the Huskers.
So they practiced, met with the media. The practice was open. Were there some fans in the stands watching practice today?
Yes, there were quite a few actually, and they started the Go Big Red. They had the Husker Power chant going on. There were, because, they opened the practices, and so, every team was their open shoot around, so anybody could come in and watch, and no doubt about it, while I was there, And even walking around downtown or in Memphis down Bill Street, there's definitely Husker Nation has already started to take over this place. There were definitely a lot of fans there for the shoot around and a lot more than everybody else. And I'm seeing a lot more Nebraska fans just walking around down here already.
So many people that I know are either there or they're on their way there to root this team on tomorrow night. In fact, at this time tomorrow, it'll be go time as a 5:50 tip for the Huskers. All right, March Madness. You could almost equate that, Jessica, to Husker athletics, right? I mean, we did our last show on Monday, and since Monday, so much has happened, including the gentleman that you did get a chance to meet today, Troy Dannon, now the new athletic director for Nebraska. He officially starts tomorrow. Boy, that came quick. You're talking about 8 days since the resignation of the previous boss to now have Troy Dannon in. Matt Rule did comment about him yesterday. Fred Hoiberg apparently knows him from playing basketball where he was a referee for Coach Hoiberg's high school team. So what a whirlwind, right, for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I kind of forgot we hadn't had a show to talk about that yet. So it's wow. You know, you talk about moving quickly, and I know that was a concern about getting somebody in place, and it did not take long at all, and just the connection there with Coach Rule. And yeah, apparently Troy Dannon refed some of Fred Hoiberg's games, and he said today he met with the media for a little short time today and said that he never lost any games that he refed. So Coach Hoiberg should be a big fan of his. But they chatted for a while today at shoot around. I'm actually going to get a chance to do a longer interview with him tomorrow morning. But what I met him and just chat briefly, and I said, man, what a great first duty as an AD is flying to March Madness for the first round of the NCAA tournament. But, you know, I just I think it's a great hire just from – you have to follow the lead of the head football coach who has a history with him, and then Coach Hoiberg. They've both said glowing things about him, so I'm going to follow their lead, and we'll find out more about him tomorrow. You know,
Jess, we had Chris Kaborik on in studio Monday night, and I could tell by kind of the gleam in his eye that he liked the direction and where things were going. But I didn't come away from that conversation think this guy's within a couple of hours of having his man signed, sealed, and delivered. So I was surprised by the speed of it. But I'm with you. I think if you have Matt Rule and Fred Hoiberg both going, yep, I think he's going to be a good fit here, why waste time? Let's just go. Let's keep moving this thing forward because there is so much positive momentum in the department right now.
Yeah, and you just get the sense, I don't know this, and Chris Kaborik is here, too. He flew out with Troy Dannon to be here. They got here like at 2:30, came straight to the arena to be able to be there for shoot-around. But you got to think just with the comments that Coach Rule made in his press conference about chatting and visiting and just having that conversation, that dialogue with Kaborik, that there was a conversation had about the hire. So, you know, and I know that was, if you look at the list of head coaches, I mean, this Coach Rule was the one that I know people were concerned about going back to when he said that one of the reasons why he came here was the leadership and, you know, with Trev being gone, but he squashed a lot of that on Monday. And then, you know, now knowing that that conversation was no doubt had between him and Kaborik, and that this is a guy that he signed off on, is got to make, in addition to what he said on Monday, Husker fans, you know, breathe a little sigh of relief that this is a guy that he is endorsed and has gotten behind.
Well, the name Pat Kraft keeps coming up. Pat is the current AD at Penn State. He was Coach Rule's AD at Temple. Pat and Troy are tight. They sit on a bunch of committees together, a lot of football committees together. And I think Pat highly recommended to Matt Troy. And so I think you connect some of those dots. That makes some sense. And then the icing on the cake for me was hearing Fred Hoiberg say, oh, yeah, he used to ref my games when I was in high school. He goes, he's a better AD than he was a ref, which was, I think, an unnecessary shot. They didn't need to say that about his new boss, but he did throw that out there. The other thing that's
like the most ever that Fred Hoiberg has criticized the referee.
No kidding. I hope he doesn't get fined for that.
I know he doesn't really get on officials very much.
Very rarely. The other thing that's happened since our Monday show is both basketball coaches have received contract extensions. Fred Hoiberg's, and somebody said, well, boy, is this all the interim folks doing this? No, I think both of these extensions had been in the works the last couple of weeks, and I think the finishing touches just happened right now. But really happy for both Coach Hoiberg, Coach Williams to get these extensions. I think it shows a commitment to them, and I think they both have earned getting an extension. I think they both had 2 more years left on their deal after this season completed. I think for recruiting purposes, you want to get it out a little further than that, and I think that box gets checked as well this week. So just a lot of news that has popped here in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, both coaches just very deserving of that. And, that's one thing that I know he's gone now, and I don't know how much significant play he had in these contract extensions. But Trev Alberts, we've seen that he rewards those coaches, or he rewarded those coaches. I mean, he did it with Rhonda Revelle. What was it, last year, a couple years ago? Anyway, so, that's a big part of it. And not only, the recruiting, but the transfer portal is now open, right? So didn't it just come back open?
The basketball one opened Monday.
Yeah. So the basketball transfer portals are now open. And so, just again, so you can say, hey, there's some longevity here. And we've talked so much about how, the players now are coming because a lot of it is because of the coaches and the relationships they build with those coaches. And so really important to have some stability there and some longevity, saying, hey, we believe in this direction and we're going to be here. So, great and very deserving, and congratulations. 2 of my favorite people on campus to work with. They're just classy, class act human beings.
Yeah, and they run their programs that way, and I think that's something we can all be proud of now. Obviously you want to win every game. You're not going to do that, but I think the way they run their program lets us all kind of walk around with our heads held up. And so I do want to give proper credit. I do think that both of those extensions were in the works with Trev as the AD, and Doug Ewald probably putting the finishing touches on it. I'm not trying to take anything away from Dennis LeBlanc, but I know Chris Kaborik probably had a hand in that as well, since he's kind of overseeing athletics and has been for a couple of months. I'm sure he had to sign off on that as well, but really happy for both coaches. And now they can coach this tournament, and hopefully they're in it for a couple of weeks, and then after that, get out there and start to put the roster together for next year, because the portal is wide open, and with every team that gets beat, those guys are already starting to think about, all right, where's my next move in this wild world of college athletics moving forward. I want to touch on one more thing before we hit our first break, and Henry had this in the ticker. The NCAA championships just started today down in Kansas City on the wrestling mat. Huskers have 8 wrestlers that have qualified for the NCAAs. They go 8-1. 9 wrestlers. They go 8-1 in round 1. Nash was the only one that did not win. He had to wrestle a pretty high seed because he was one of the lower seeded heavyweights left. But what a great start. Nebraska, after session 1, 3rd in the team total. And I got ESPN up right now. They've got the next round going on right now on ESPN if some people want to flip over and watch some of that. But a great start by Mark Manning's team down in KC.
Absolutely. You couldn't ask for much better of a start, right? And it's not only, the guys that win, but those guys that got the bonus points. Those are so critical, the big wins from some of those guys. And now the wrestlebacks become really important because, hopefully you've got guys that just keep, advancing through the winner's bracket. But a guy like Nash, you can rack up a lot of points too in the consolation brackets for as far as the team goes and how your team's performing, which is really, really important to these guys. It's every guy that I've sat down with this season. Wrestling is such an individual sport, but they have team goals in mind, in addition to probably, it's bigger even than what they're doing individually. So now, even no matter what happens, advancing, moving forward, every single match matters, and all those points add up and are critical to what a team does at this kind of event. But hey, great start. And I wasn't able to watch all of the matches, but I did watch Brock Hardy, and it was good to see him back dominant again.
Did he pin, or did he get a technical fall? It was
he had a huge score. I watched through the third period. I didn't see how it ended.
I think maybe Ridge had the pin. Peyton Robb won a 1-0 nail biter. It was really tight in the 157 weight class. But yeah, if you're home tonight, want to watch some wrestling, it's on ESPN right now as they've got round 2. This will set the quarterfinals up with the matches that are going on tonight. And the Huskers should be a lot of these, because of 8 still going in the round of 16, you should see a lot of Husker wrestlers make some TV appearances tonight. All right, busy show. Our postseason coverage of Husker basketball brought to you by our good friends at John Henry's. They are the official HVAC, plumbing, and electrical partner of Husker Athletics. So they're kind of covering our coverage down in Memphis with Jessica. We're going to hear from Fred Hoiberg here in a couple of minutes. Ken Pavelka is going to stop by. We'll hear Jessica's conversation with KP from earlier today. We did pick off some sound bites from Coach Williams out in Corvallis as they met with the media. They had the same thing today, the open practice session in Corvallis on the Oregon State campus, then had the mandatory media meetings. So we'll hear from Coach Williams coming up in hour number 2. Jessica also caught up with the birthday boy, Sam Hoiberg. How about that? Little March birthday baby for him. And Jawan Gary. I guess Jawan's the veteran, right, Jessica, of this postseason play? I think he's the only Husker to have appeared in the NCAA tournament.
Yes, he is, because Rink Mass didn't ever get there. And I don't think Josiah did either. But not only is it Sam's birthday, it's his 21st birthday.
Oh, boy.
And
Biggie.
his twin brother Charlie's here as well for their. But what a fun birthday party. What a fun birthday to be able to be playing in the NCAA tournament. I mean, he said I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's, the big 2-1 for Sam Hoiberg.
That's a monumental one, as all of us can attest, except Duke, who's in here. He's not yet crossed that barrier to be 21. All right, full show tonight. We want your participation as well. The text lines are wide open at 402-413-2400. We'll be back to hear from the head coach. Jessica caught up with him briefly earlier today. We'll have that conversation next.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, Nebraska's men's and women's basketball teams are in the NCAA tournament. Coverage of the men's game begins Friday at 5, and coverage of the women's game starts at 9. Both teams are set to face Texas A&M. Postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official HVAC plumbing and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics. You can hear all the exciting action of the Nebraska men's and women's basketball team right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever thanks to our streamlined buying process. Shop our current inventory and offers going on now and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Save up to $11,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Ford F-150 XLT plus 1.9% APR for 72 months. With approved credit, vehicle is a retired courtesy. Stock number T232516. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 3/31/2024. See dealer for details.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe with you in our Acres Broadcast Center. Jessica is down in Memphis covering the Huskers as they get ready to play Texas A&M tomorrow night. Earlier today, Jessica had a chance to catch up with the head coach, Fred Hoiberg.
Coach, you said this team has been businesslike in their approach all season long. What have the preparations been like this week leading into the tournament?
Well, it's been sharp, and it has to be, because these guys pose a lot of problems and do a lot of things that we haven't seen all year. They run every possible defense you can think of, a lot of switching man-to-man and 3-2 zone and a 1-2-2 press. So they're going to throw everything at us, and I think our guys have done a good job of coming out here and trying to figure out exactly what we need to do to attack the different coverages that we will see.
You have a long history in the NCAA tournament. What has it been like for you? How special is it for you to be back on this stage with this group that means so much to you?
Yeah, it means the world to be back in this championship, and it's why you do this. It's the fun time of year, and you have to enjoy it, but at the same time, there's so much noise, and there's so much attention. And as I've talked to the team about all week, the team that puts those distractions aside generally are the teams that advance in this tournament. And it's I'll never forget my time playing most importantly in this tournament. Those were the fun days, and being back here as a coach, this is what we want. This is what we want to have long term. Continue to give ourselves a chance where we're competing for these types of championships.
Last thing, this is such a big production. What can you say about your support staff that are helping put all this on and making sure that you guys have the best chance to succeed?
Yeah, the staff, I just can't say enough about them. And, anytime you have, a good culture and you have a business-like approach, the staff has so much to do with it. And you see the guys on the sidelines, but it's all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into, putting this together and already working on next opponents. Hopefully we'll get that opportunity to go up. But we're preparing, as if we're going to continue on. In this tournament. So same thing with the Big Ten tournament, with first game against Indiana, then you got to prepare for a couple teams. You got to go scout Penn State and Michigan as well. So there's so much work that goes into it, and, it's very much appreciated by me and the staff with all the guys that are doing behind the scenes work.
Coach, appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Greg, I had to ask that last question because it's just been unbelievable to watch just this well-oiled machine of a whole entire production. They're not practicing at the same place. They've been at two different colleges where they've practiced. Then they went to the shoot around. You're talking about getting all of the equipment there, all the things that are needed, and just how well it's just you see the players on the court, but the staff that's working behind the scenes that are making sure that the film is ready, their iPads, all of that. It's just really going back to that culture comment that he just made. You can see it, especially when you travel and are up close and personal with this group, just how great the culture is. But they've been laser focused. They are not just happy to be here. And I think some teams that haven't been here, sometimes that's a problem, right? You just, we're here, we're excited to be here, and we'll build on this year. But no, they are here on a mission, and they are laser focused. I've been really impressed just with the overall approach and how this team has handled everything so far.
We talked about the lack of players that have played in the tournament. Well, he certainly has coached he played in the tournament too, but he's coached in the tournament. And so I think he kind of knows the successful formula to get a team ready, to let them enjoy the ride, but also to keep them locked in enough to be ready and prepared to play a game. So I think in some ways it's more important that the coach kind of knows how to attack this and the players. This is also a really cool thing because there's some things that happen to this team that don't happen in the regular season. One, the heightened attention. The number of people that are traveling with them is way up from what it normally is. And then something that we get to experience in football, but they don't generally, and that's like a police escort even from the airport to the hotel or the hotel to an arena. They don't get that kind of treatment during the year. So all those things are new and kind of fun, and it should be for those guys. Yeah, absolutely. They are doing a little bit of tweaks too and I'm sure they've done these along the way, but I'm told that Ernie Ziegler gave a really passionate, just really moving speech to the team yesterday. Coach Hoiberg had one of his former teammates, I hope it's okay to say that, went on a run, was a part of an NCAA tournament team that went to the Final Four, that sent in a video and said, what are the keys to making a run? So just, all the things of, hey, but there's just so much more that goes into it than just playing a basketball game. Like, it's how together are you? How prepared are you? It's just, a lot of it is just the belief. And that was one of the messages that I heard today, but just believing that you are supposed to be here and that you can do this. And so just, overall, how they've gone about making sure that this team is absolutely prepared. Certainly it starts with the head man, and he'll be the first to give a lot of credit to his staff, as you just heard him do. But he's the guy that's been here. He's been a part of teams that have made special runs at Iowa State. I think he had a couple Sweet 16s, and then as a player, so he knows. He is fully aware of what it takes to get a team playing their best and to win and advance in this tournament. And so he's calling the shots, and certainly that bodes well for a team, knowing that a guy that has that kind of experience in this deal. Folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We're also keeping an eye on the NCAA wrestling. Huge upset for Caleb Smith, the Huskers 125-pounder. I think he was seeded 15th or 16th. He just beat the 2 seed in sudden victory, got an early takedown to win 4-1. So he's on to the quarterfinals. That is gigantic for Caleb. They're about to go to the 133 weight pound class for the night session down there, but we'll keep an eye on that. Way to go, Caleb Smith. That's pretty cool, Jess.
Yeah. Didn't he win in sudden victory earlier today?
I think he did.
So he won in sudden victory and then overtime.
Yeah, how about that?
So, good for him. And he's a grad guy, a grad student, grad senior that transferred in to be a part of this program. I know Coach Manning just has thought the world of what he's brought to the program, how he's fit in. And I'll never forget, it was last year when they were rolling and they had all these guys that were advancing. It's contagious when you start seeing your teammates, even though you're wrestling separate. It's not like you're passing them the ball, but they have told me that it's contagious. And so for Cam to go and knock off somebody like that, to pull off the quote unquote upset, there's no doubt that's sending waves to his teammates. And so, hey, look what we can do here on the stage. He wasn't supposed to win that, but here he is kind of setting the tone at 125 for the rest of this group here to come tonight.
That's fantastic. We'll keep an eye on that as the show moves on tonight. They won't be done wrestling in Kansas City by the time we get off the air, but we'll keep you posted with what we were able to see here in just a little bit. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Jessica mentioned the word grad student. Well, our grad student on the network is going to join us next, Kent Pavelka. Jessica caught up with him earlier today. We'll have that conversation coming up next.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Husker fans, Nebraska's men's and women's basketball teams are in the NCAA tournament. Coverage of the men's game begins Friday at 5, and coverage of the women's game starts at 9. Both teams are set to face Texas A&M. Postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official HVAC, plumbing, and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics. You can hear all the exciting action of the Nebraska men's and women's basketball team right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate, America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They're the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and the service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe here in Lincoln. Jessica's with the Huskers in Memphis. The team flew down yesterday. I guess it was a big night on the town last night, and I don't know if KP ventured out into the streets of Memphis or not, but he did. Jessica did get a chance to catch up with him earlier today.
Well, how does it feel to be here, be back, calling a game in the NCAA tournament?
It feels kind of like back in the day at a bowl game, like for a national championship. I mean, this is one NCAA game, but it feels like that to me. Maybe because, we're waiting. Let's play, let's get this done. I'm anxious to see if they can win this one and get the monkey off their back. But, yeah, it's been great.
You go back to the start of the season. They were picked to finish 12th. You were with this team the whole way. Can you just describe the journey from the start to the finish to where they are today?
When I walked in and saw them for the first time when they were practicing to get ready to go to Spain, they popped at me. The new guys just popped. And I saw, and I said so. I think I tweeted it out at the time. I thought this team could be what it is today. The additions with the guys that were coming back, you could see the possibilities. And I was right.
You just Coach Hoiberg and the job that he's done this year, but from when he was hired to where it is now, how special is it to see him get a team back to the NCAA tournament and to do this for this program?
Well, it's like a movie script, It's like Hoosiers, but let's name it Huskers, right? This is just a great story with his grandfather, and I've never been more enamored with a coach at Nebraska than I am with Fred. I can't explain how impressed I am by what's happened and how taken I am by what's happened, and it's got to end up with a victory on Friday, and it just has to.
I know you said the guys popped you on at practice the very first time you saw them, but I've been asking everybody this. I'd like to get your perspective too. When did you think, okay, this team could maybe be pretty special, could maybe do something pretty special?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I thought from the very beginning, I thought this team has what it takes to be good enough to compete in the conference, and I didn't put a number of wins on it, but I could just tell with Rink and Josiah and all three guys that he added, who am I forgetting here, along with the guys coming back, that I thought they had all the pieces, and they do. They've got 8 guys that give you something unique, each one of them. It's like he's got in any given situation, he's got a tool in the toolbox that will be appropriate, and that. The thing that has been impressive to me about this team is that they bought in initially and realized that if they play like they're coached, that they are better individually and they're better as a team. And that's been fun to see from the inside.
What about, too, just the unselfishness? And it's somebody different, it seems like, every night. It could be somebody else's night, but whoever's night it is, they try to find them and they try to get that guy the ball.
Yeah, I think that ties into what I was just saying about they realize that that's the formula, and they're willing to play that way. And then the other thing that people don't talk about is on the other end, on the defensive end. They're pretty good. They're pretty special, and you put that together, and you play hard like they do, and you win 23 games.
It's special to be here for any team, but for this team in particular, they got a chance to do something that's never been done and make some history here. What makes you believe that this is the group that can do it?
Well, I'm hoping this is the group that can do it. You know, I think you're going to play a team that is just every bit as good as the best teams you've played in the conference. So, you know, you're going to have to play your best to get it done. I'm thinking more about what it will mean if they do get it done. And for me, with thinking back to all the years invested, I think back to some of the players from years and years and decades ago, and the coaches just tweeted something on behalf of Coach Nee. You know, I mean, this is important to him. And if they can win this Friday and get the monkey off their back as far as this never having won a NCAA tournament game, yes, we know, well, they can never say never again. And this will be a victory for all those guys. They will feel that it's a victory for them. So it's important beyond it, it's way more important than it is for just the team itself this year.
All right, your charts or something, they're artwork. You've completed them. You'll, I guess, keep tweaking them leading up to tip-off. But as you dive into this Texas A&M team, what jumps out to you? What is something to be watching for listeners that are watching this?
Just got to keep them to one shot. I mean, they lead the country in offensive rebounding. And that's going to – it's like playing Rutgers on steroids, a little combination between Illinois and Rutgers. If you can limit them to one shot on most possessions, and then their little guard doesn't go off, I think that's a win.
Okay, tell us about the process of putting those charts together.
Not much to it. It's a blank canvas the day after the last game, and I just start in, and we're going to tweet something to show that from that point to when we start the game.
I think fans might be interested. What all do you put on there? What helps you tell the story when they're listening into these games?
Well, the first thing I do is and I did this for football too. I call it a spotting board. It just gets me. I put the names and the numbers and their heights and their weight and what grade they're in, what the hometown is, and their shooting percentages and little tidbits of information. And it does two things for me during a broadcast. If I look up and momentarily go blank and as to who it is, I can see who it is and get that down. But it's just the process of writing all those details down. A lot of times I don't even need to look at it. I already know it because it's kind of just prep. It's just you understand. Oh, yeah. You've done it.
Oh, just what's been your perspective of the way that Husker Nation has fallen in love with this team and this program this season?
Well, it reminds me of the 90s, the best football teams that ever were at Nebraska. It's that kind of collective buy-in. And, I mean, I guess the feel at PBA this year, at the best times this past year, in terms of energy and collective enthusiasm by the fans reminded me of the best days at Memorial Stadium. So it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm overplaying it, but that's how it feels to me.
How much fun have you had this season calling these games?
The best. The best ever. I just have enjoyed it so much. And it gets old, but I compare it to in terms of enjoying it because it's been successful. Again, it goes back to those good days in football. But maybe it's just a product of my experience and where I'm at in life. I just think I'm in a place where I can enjoy it. It's just been marvelous.
Done a great job. This group's pretty fun, though, right? Even off the court, they're pretty great guys. Pretty fun to get to know.
Yeah, they are. I found. Now, you tell me if your experience is different. I have found that college athletes are a little bit standoffish. They're kind of into themselves. And the thing that has been most enjoyable to me is when they come back years later, because for them, 10 years later, these memories are more important than they are at a given moment. These guys will come back 5 years from now and they'll appreciate it more than they do today.
All right, so if the Huskers get a win, then what happens with the charts? Because it's been a week-long process for this one. It's a quick turnaround.
Well, the one that after the win on Friday, after I decide what to put down on it, that will be auctioned off, and that will be for the Kent Pavelka Retirement Fund.
Greg, you can start the first bidding price for those spotter boards.
How about that? That is classic. Love that conversation. I'm sure he may not sleep tonight, is my guess. He'll be so excited. He'll probably get to the arena about 10 a.m. tomorrow, even though the game doesn't start till almost 6. I just know Kent. I have a feeling that's what he's going to look like.
That's kind of early.
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of late. I would think you would have said it earlier, but no, you can tell he's kind of just trying to take it all in, you know. And
this is a true story, Jess. He texted Cole this morning at 6:34 talking about the pregame show.
Well, in his defense, he was in bed early. We talked about that today. You know, we're pretty close to, not super close, but just like a trolley ride away from Bill Street. You can walk down our street. There's some bars and restaurants, and I think there was a group that went out that were the support staff. But I saying, man, I was in bed by 9 o'clock last night. He goes, me too. I was in bed by like 8:30. So we were both in bed early. So we both got up early today.
Think you could find a lemonade on Beale Street?
Maybe we could find a lemonade. It looks pretty cool. I walked down there today, and it was already kind of starting to be hot, but I cannot wait to see it tomorrow. We're going to go try to track down some Husker fans tomorrow, which I know it's going to be flooded with Husker Nation. You know, you could get a sense for it today, but so we're going to try to go out there. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. I walked by B.B. King's place, and there was already some live music playing, and this is like at 1:30 in the afternoon. So it'll be fun tomorrow on game day.
Lots of live music in that town. That's a great place for a tournament like this, and Husker fans that are there are going to love hanging out in Memphis. All right, 402-413-2400. The text line if you want to fire something off at us. We need to work our final break in. We're back to wrap up hour 1 next.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate, America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Husker fans, Nebraska's men's and women's basketball teams are in the NCAA tournament. Coverage of the men's game begins Friday at 5, and coverage of the women's game starts at 9. Both teams are set to face Texas A&M. Postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official HVAC, plumbing, and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics. You can hear all the exciting action of the Nebraska men's and women's basketball team right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Woodhouse Auto Family, they're your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe in studio. Jessica Coody down in Memphis covering the Huskers. Our coverage down there all week long brought to you by our good friends at John Henry's. An update from NCAA Wrestling. 133, Jacob Vandy loses 2-0. Brock Hardy at 141 is up 10-4 in the last
He just
period.
won. It's over.
It's over, okay? So Hardy through to the quarters. That's 2 Huskers. Jess, through to the quarterfinals.
2 out of 3 so far to start.
Very
Not
good.
bad.
And you got Ridge.
Vandy will be good in the consolation bracket too, I think.
I think so too.
I think it was a pretty high seed that he faced, and it was a hard-fought battle. And Ethan on the chat said that he should have won, but got a tough call. So, but I think he'll do good in those wrestlebacks that we're talking about, racking up some of those points. But hey, off to another good start here
No
tonight.
question. Got Ridge Levitt up soon and Peyton Robb up probably in the next 30 minutes as well. We'll be able to give you their final results in Session 2 of the NCAA Wrestling down in Kansas City. I'm told there's a lot of Husker fans at T-Mobile Center down there in Kansas City rooting on the Big Red. Well, tomorrow, I got the sense, I think this is going to be historic tomorrow. Huskers, it's well known. It's kind of been the cloud over the program for decades, Jessica. They're 0-7 in the NCAA tournament, have not won a game. The only Power 5 team to not win a game. I just feel like the stars are aligned for this. And I think it's good that I don't think Coach Hoiberg's running from that. I think he is embracing that and selling that as motivation for this team. Let's go be that first ever team to do this.
They absolutely are. And that's where, you can, some people might say, oh, well, why would you want to embrace it? Well, it's there. You might as well embrace it. And we're going to hear from a few of the players coming up here in a little bit. And then just the conversations that I've had over the last couple of weeks, they want to be the first. Josiah said it the other night when we heard from him on Selection Sunday about, the being that team that goes down in history, that does that accomplishes that feat that's never been done. And they've got, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but they've got this incredible video that's coming out tomorrow. And one of the things that's kind of been said, and Kent alluded to it just a second ago, it's not just for this year and this team and the fans this year. This is for all of us, and it's for everybody that's been a part of Husker basketball for all these years. Hey, and they absolutely are embracing it. And I'm with you. I think that's the great approach to do it, because it's going to be a storyline. So let's embrace it and, use that as a motivating key factor for this team. Hey, let's go do something that's never been done with this special group.
Love to see the look on Jake Muehlhausen's face if it happens. There's a former player. He put a lot of great effort into that program. He's grown up in Lincoln, followed Husker basketball all of his life. For all those former players, tomorrow could be really a special moment for all of that. We're going to talk about the women next hour. We're going to play some clips from Amy Williams' press conference. They're out in Corvallis. They're also going to play the Aggies tomorrow night. Late night, 9:30 tip, 9 o'clock for pregame coverage with Coat and Jeff Grease tomorrow night. We did have somebody on the text line wanting to know if you had any sightings of our former athletic director today in Memphis.
I did not see him, but the yell leaders from Texas A&M were there.
Okay. The important people
So
then.
we'll probably see the former AD tomorrow.
We'll see. All right. Interesting times. No doubt about it. The new AD is there, Troy Dannon. He also made the comment that he would like to try to get to Corvallis. Maybe he zips out there if they win tomorrow night to go watch their Sunday match, or their game out at Sunday. I've got my wrestling terminology mixed in here with my basketball talk. Still going to hear from Sam Hoiberg and Juwan Gary next hour, and it's Thursday. Cole's Jokes coming your way to end it all up at the end of hour number 2. So a lot to look forward to. Come on back with us for the second hour of the program.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh,
Don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Good evening, I'm Duke Rood, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska women's basketball team is going dancing as a 6th seed and is taking on 11 seed Texas A&M. This is the highest seed the Huskers have been since 2014, where they were a 4 seed. Amy Williams' squad is coming off a hard-fought overtime loss in the Big Ten Championship against Iowa 11 days ago. Coach Williams was asked today about how the team is getting ready for the big dance.
I am incredibly excited for another run with this team. We just had so much fun at our Big Ten tournament, really having a lot of things come together and play our best basketball. And it feels like it's been a really long time since we got to tip it up. And so we're just super excited for the opportunity that's in front of us. And I love coaching this team so much. And to have that opportunity again here tomorrow, we're incredibly excited to get it going.
Tip-off between the Huskers and Aggies is set for tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. in Corvallis, Oregon on the HRN. The Nebraska wrestling team started competition in the NCAA championships today and went 8-1 in the first session. This brought their team score to 14, which is currently second best in the nation behind Penn State's 15.5. Due to the poor forecasted temperature on Friday evening, the first pitch of tomorrow night's Nebraska Baseball Series opener versus New Mexico State has been moved up to 4:05 p.m. There are 16 games in the NCAA men's basketball tournament today, including Michigan State defeating Mississippi State, Dayton defeating Nevada 63-60, Oregon defeating South Carolina 87-73, Duquesne upsetting BYU 71-67, Illinois defeating Morehead State 85-69, Creighton defeating Akron 77-60, Arizona beating Long Beach State 85-65, and top-ranked North Carolina defeating Wagner 90-62. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, drives the ball, third defender comes, can't score it. Put back in on a tip dunk, high in the air above the cylinder, with a jam with the right hand. Jawan Gary.
Runners second and third, 2 outs. 1-2 the count. The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Brian Webb with the 3-0 pitch. Drilled into center field. Long run again for Verduzco. Onto the track. Looking up, and it is gone! Home run, Josh Caron's second home run of the night. This one a 3-run blast to right center field.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz. Knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We are both here, but different locations. I'm inside the Acres Broadcast Center. Jessica is in Memphis, been covering the Huskers throughout the day today at their mandatory 1-hour practice, and then the media session that followed. We're going to hear from a couple of those Huskers a little bit later on in the hour. Going to start this hour with a text question. Carol wanting to know, there are rumors abound that the Huskers men's and women's games will not be audio broadcast on the HRN. Would appreciate the skinny on this. Yes, will they, or no, won't they? Well, it is yes and no, kind of, Carol. Our affiliates will have the broadcast, so that will be not a change at all, but we're not allowed to stream either on Huskers.com or on the official Huskers app, which is the way a lot of people listen to it. You're going to have to listen to terrestrial radio for the NCAA tournament. The NCAA sells the streaming rights to a different company. They make separate money off of that, and so they do not allow us to stream that on our app or on Huskers.com. So it's a yes and kind of no answer, Carol, for you there. But I'm glad you asked, and a little chance for us to kind of explain that.
Greg, I have an update.
Yep.
So apparently the women will be able to be streamed and on the app because there's no national radio at their location.
Okay.
That's coming from Keith Mann himself, and Jeff Greesh dove into that. So apparently we are okay to stream, and
women.
You can listen to the women. The men, no.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, because that changed since our meeting on Monday, where we're told that nobody could do that. So there's your answer, Carol. It's kind of a yes and no answer, but yeah, the old radio stations that carry us throughout the year will definitely have the broadcast of the men's game tomorrow afternoon, and the women's as well, but you can, I guess, use the app and Huskers.com for that. Well, Amy Williams met with the media earlier today up in Corvallis. They had their open practice and then a media session. She was asked about the freshmen, Logan Nisley, Potts, you got Petrie. Those three freshmen have been so big for Nebraska all season long. Of course, Potts, Natalie, was named the freshman of the year in the conference. Logan was also an all-freshman member of the Big Ten Conference team. The coach was asked about how big of an impact they have had on this team and the ability to help get them into the tournament.
Yeah, we are incredibly blessed to have three outstanding freshmen that have contributed throughout this entire season for us and made a huge difference. And I think that all three of them have been able to, throughout the early part of our season, kind of work through some growing pains to the point where they were ready to step up and contribute. And when I look at our Big Ten tournament and Jess Petrie coming in and playing huge minutes when Lex was in foul trouble in a couple of those first round games, and Natalie Potts, being the freshman of the year, playing huge roles, having a double-double up there in the Big Ten tournament in one of our games. And then Logan Nisley went on a 11-point second quarter in one of our wins, our third quarter maybe, just contributing. I think we as a team set the record for the most three-point field goals made ever in the Big Ten tournament, and that doesn't happen with a player who's not a confident shooter like Logan Nisley, I think. Early, we knew just how special her mentality and confidence was. She was maybe struggling in our first 3 or 4 ball games three-point field goal percentage-wise, and her teammates would see in practice what a great shooter she was, and they'd say, keep shooting, Logan, and she'd be like, oh, I will. And I think that just shows the level of confidence that young lady has, and it's really paid off for us that she plays with that kind of confidence.
Yeah, I don't think this team has the record or makes the run in Minneapolis without those three freshmen and their ability to really, and she did a great job there, just kind of outline the different paths that they've been on. I mean, Natalie has been solid really from the get-go in the season. Logan got hot mid-season, and Jess Petrie, I think anybody who went and watched their games just saw incremental progress by her as the season went along. And a lot of times that's what you need. You need those freshmen to kind of maybe play a bigger role than you think to have a special year. And all three of those tremendous players and bright futures.
Absolutely. And, you just think about it, and we had Coatney on a couple of weeks ago when they had moved Logan Nisley into that starting lineup. But think about all this run that they went on the Big Ten tournament, some of the big games that they played late in the season. There's a lot of players that contributed, and it's not just Jazz Shelley. It's not just Alexis Markowski. It takes everybody to do something special this time of the year. And so certainly those players have stepped up in their different ways, and Natalie has been a really big contributing factor this whole season. But Logan was coming off an injury in the summer, and so maybe took her a little bit to get going. But when she is hot from three, this team is very, very, very dangerous, because teams cannot shade off of her to get in, to pack it in the paint on Potts and Markowski. So she's absolutely a huge key for the advance here in March Madness.
All right, A&M, like the men, is the opponent for the women tomorrow night. The coach was asked, well, how many games have you watched of A&M tape in the last couple of days? Here.
I'm pretty sure in entirety it's 13 full game films that I've watched, with a lot of just clips and highlights and stuff from several others. But just taking some tidbits from, they played Purdue early in the season, which is a conference opponent that we're obviously very familiar with after having played them 3 times this year. And so kind of the common opponents like that, and then obviously their most recent games, and just a ton of respect for what that team team has out on the court and the talent that they're able to really play with.
So 13 games in their entirety. So let's let her expand on more of what she expects out of A&M and what's going to be some of the keys for this one tomorrow night.
Obviously, we know that we're going to have to keep them off the glass, and that's a huge key. They're very, very dangerous in transition. I think they can really get going. They have a lot of people that can rebound and then just bring the ball and push their pace in transition. So that's unique. They don't have to get the ball out of their forwards' hands. Their forwards can bring the ball up the floor and handle it and make good decisions and push pace. So our transition defense and then our ability to sit down and defend and keep the ball in front of us will really be a big factor.
I think keeping them off the glass, that's kind of a key for Nebraska. When I the little bit of A&M that I've seen, Jessica, they remind me some of Maryland's team. Good athletes out there.
Yeah.
They maybe don't shoot it the best, but they're gonna crash the boards and try to get second looks and try to turn you over and get some easy buckets that way in transition. That's kind of my nutshell. It may not be overly accurate, but it's kind of my nutshell on A&M.
Yeah, I was doing some deep diving into their stats, and it's crazy kind of some of the similarities between the men's team for Texas A&M and the women's team, because they don't shoot it well. They don't blow you away with their offensive statistics. They're physical. They are going to, I think their post players like 6'6", because when I was at the selection show, they were asking, hey, we got to find somebody on the scout team that's 6'6" that can, give us that kind of look. So, but if Nebraska does what Nebraska does, it's so this time of year you can get caught up in watching about a lot of film, and certainly that's the coaches' jobs. But a lot of the messaging is, hey, we got to do what we do, and we got to do what we do well. And so, but this team, as Amy has alluded to, really likes the scouting part of it, and they're very cerebral team. So they'll dive into that. But yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I think on paper, as far as statistically goes, they're not a real pretty looking basketball team. And it's not like they are really great offensively, but they're physical and they play great defense. And they want to push the pace and turn you over. So that's kind of a little bit of a look that they just got there in the Big Ten tournament.
Huskers are the favorites. I think they're the better team. Again, it comes down to making shots. And when this team has done that, they've been really, really tough to beat. So it should be a fun game tomorrow night. Everybody's got to get a little nap in the afternoon so you can stay up late. 9:30 tip out there. That's only 7:30 Corvallis time for that game tomorrow night. Any updates? Is Ridge Lovett's match over?
He just raised the hand. He won 11-4.
Okay.
He is moving on.
So a third Husker now into the quarters in Kansas City. You got Peyton Robb coming up soon. We should be able to get a final on Peyton's match before we check out and finish off the show here tonight. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Keep those texts coming. Love them. 402-413-2400. John's got one in Omaha that I'm going to share with you on the other side. When we come back, we'll hear from Juwan Gary. Get his take. This is the old man of the team. He played on a tournament team at Alabama a couple of years ago. Jess had a chance to catch up with him earlier. We'll have that conversation next.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Husker fans, Nebraska's men's and women's basketball teams are in the NCAA tournament. Coverage of the men's game begins Friday at 5, and coverage of the women's game starts at 9. Both teams are set to face Texas A&M. Postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official HVAC, plumbing, and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics. You can hear all the exciting action of the Nebraska men's and women's basketball team right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Experience luxury car buying like never before at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Browse our full range of SUVs or our lineup of exceptional sedans, offering unparalleled elegance and sophistication. Plus, right now, lease the 2024 Genesis GV70 2.5 Turbo All-Wheel Drive Select for $669 per month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra. First payment, $4,999 down plus $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Offer expires April 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back with you here in our Acres Broadcast Center. Jessica's with the Husker men's team in Memphis. Doug in Norfolk on our text line said, not only do I think Nebraska wins tomorrow, but they're going to pull the upset against Houston. We are built to beat Houston. Go Big Red. Doug, love it. I love the enthusiasm. Let's worry about tomorrow first. I don't even want to think about Sunday. Let's get this one tomorrow. Let's make history. Let's get us off the snide in the NCAA tournament, and then I'll worry about that. But I love your enthusiasm and your positive thinking about Sunday's game. Well, the one Husker that has played in the NCAA tournament is Juwan Gary. Played at Alabama before transferring to Nebraska a couple of years ago. Earlier today, Jessica caught up with Juwan.
Here with Juwan Gary. Well, you're one of the, I guess, the only guy that's been here on this stage. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. I've been telling the guys since I've been here, like, this is the time that you actually enjoy it. Like, you know, final tournament of the season, like the winning, lose, or go home situation. But in the day, this is what we work for all year, all season, you know, beating the number one team, beat Wisconsin, you know, going undefeated at home, like, you know, through our conference play. Like, this is what we work for. So this being in a situation, playing in Memphis, you know, playing tomorrow in March Madness is something that, you know, you can't beat. You know, this is my fourth time being in March Madness, but I say this is probably the best feeling I ever had. But like out of all the time I've been in March Madness, because this group of guys, I love it like they're my own brother. I can't say nothing else about that. Like, blood couldn't make me closer to none of these guys for sure. I'm glad, like, they all excited to be here. Even Coach Fred, like, he would say on the media, like, he said he couldn't be downstairs with us when we heard our name because he's going to be very emotional. But in the day, like, I was well prepared. Like, okay, I know we're going to get in, but it's time to prepare for this team. We're playing tomorrow. You know, Texas A&M, a very hard-playing team. You know, come from the SEC conference. Like, I know what they're going to come to do. What they're going to give us their best basketball, but they won't still play Nebraska basketball tomorrow.
You guys have approached everything business like this entire season, but what goes into that approach for this team? Why are you guys so good at preparing? And even in a stage like this where you haven't been here, that you're even last week in the Big Ten tournament, but why are you guys so good at preparing for these types of situations?
Our coaching staff always going to say we do everything pro-like, whether it's film, practice, shoot around, mentally prepare, it's got to be pro-like. Coach Fred's, you know, he always hear us say we want to be pros, so he want to treat us just like pros. So, you know, of course it's fun to be out in Memphis. Of course it's fun to see all types of fans that come from around the world just supporting Nebraska basketball. But in the day, we still got a job to do. We still got to go out there tomorrow and put on a show and get the W tomorrow. But in the day, like, business like is fun to us. You know, going out there and getting a W against a good opponent, that's fun to us because we get to look at each other with a smile, be, you know, praised, you know, jumping around, just enjoying the moment of, like, getting that W. So business, like, to me and to my guys, I know it's definitely fun for us.
All right, you look at Texas A&M, they are a rebounding team, and especially on the offensive glass. How much are you putting on that personally? You're the dog of this team. You have named yourself that. You embrace that role. But, you know, to slow that down, how much are you kind of putting that on yourself to help this team do that?
Just be a leader. I tell my guys, you know, even Coach Fred, you know, harping on the day during the shoot around, like, we're gonna face through adversity for sure during the game. It's March Madness. You know, we're gonna get the best basketball of Texas A&M, but how we gonna handle it? I tell my guys, you know, this is the time that there's no point of folding. Like, it's either give it all you got or not at all. So I know my guys are well prepared. The last 2 days of practice we had have been probably the best practice we had since we've been here. Nothing more to say. I'm not the only dog of this team no more. I feel like I got a full of 18 guys of dogs, so I definitely can't wait for tomorrow because I know we missed to prepare. We've been prepared for this since the first day of practice for sure over the summer. Like, we've been looking toward this goal for a long time, so I definitely can't wait how my guys gonna respond to tomorrow during the adversity or during the good times. I mean, we know we're gonna have our runs. They're gonna have their runs for sure, but how we gonna handle it for sure.
Physicality, how much do you want to set the tone? How much are you embracing that? Because that's what they, you know, I heard it at practice today, that this is going to be a physical basketball game. You got to like that.
Coach Ziegler, he definitely said they're going to be the team that hit first. So the team that actually hit first is going to be win the physical game for sure. We know Texas A&M a very physical team. Like you said, crash the offensive glass like no other team that we face for sure. But once we set the tone of being physical and match their physicality, we know we got a good chance tomorrow.
What would it mean to this group to do what no other Nebraska basketball team has ever done?
Oh, it's going to mean a lot. You know, just something that you you always gonna live for, and something that you always gonna remember from years now. Like, even if we win tomorrow for sure, and down the road if something do happen, win or lose for sure, we always gonna remember this moment of just making Nebraska history. I know once we get back to Nebraska, we're gonna have a crowd just cheering us on for sure. That support system, I think our support system is probably the best support system in the nation. But yeah, I feel like getting that W tomorrow gonna mean way more to us than anybody, because we got all the grit and grind. We put all our tears, sweat all throughout this game. So just making that history adjustment for sure. This our 8th appearance being here in the NCAA tournament and win that first game. Like, it's something that you're never gonna forget at all.
Last thing I got for you, you mentioned the crowd support, your home crowd, how much they helped you guys do what you did at home. But you said you're going to have a big welcoming party. You're going to have a big crowd here. We've heard the crazy amounts of fans that are going to turn up here. What has that support meant to this team all season, the way that Husker Nation has bought in and got behind you guys?
Oh, man. Thanks to the Husker Nation. I definitely want to start off with that. Without y'all, it's a lot of things we couldn't do this year for sure. But I know our support system, like I said, is probably the best support system in the country for sure, but not them coming down here, supporting us for the time of being here. You can't top that for sure. I know you got people from Memphis. I know you got people from Nebraska. I got my peoples coming from South Carolina, which is 9 hours from here, and just to come see us play. We got a lot of support just coming here just to watch us play, to the point it's gonna feel like a home game to us at this point. Gonna hit the crowd, Nebraska, the Cornhusker chant, the Go Big Red chant, to the point okay, we back at home with it. So it's gonna be very fun tomorrow.
Great stuff as always, Juwan. Appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg, during the Big Ten women's basketball tournament, weren't they calling it Carver North or something for Iowa women? It's gonna be PBA East.
I think so.
I think there's going to be a lot of fans, Nebraska fans, that turn up that help this team do what they did so well at home inside PBA. But Juwan Gary is a big key to this matchup because how much we've talked about A&M's they crash the offensive boards. They're physical. That was one of the biggest messages I heard today at practice, is just making sure that they can match the physicality. Well, who's the most physical Husker? It's Juwan Gary. And Josiah Alec, but no doubt Juwan Gary sets the tone for that. And especially on the defensive end, where you're talking about trying to stop a team from hitting the offensive glass. And they've had their struggles with that at times. One of those was at Rutgers when he got hurt. So, he's going to be a big key to stopping what A&M does really well.
That was a pivotal moment for this team, because I think everybody after that game, and the Huskers lost in overtime, and they had double-digit leads in both halves, he gets hurt. I think everybody was like, he's done. Because I think a lot of people thought it was an Achilles that he hurt and he was going to be out for the year, and that might just finish this team off. Well, thank goodness it wasn't. He was back in a couple of games. They were able to I think they even won a couple games after he got hurt in his absence. But he's a big key to this team, and you're right, tomorrow with those athletic bigs of A&M, he needs to come up big. Huskers have to try to stay out of foul trouble. That's what got them hurt in the Illinois game last week, because some of those bigs got in foul trouble. You got to try to avoid foul trouble. But, man, I'm a big Juwan Gary fan. Love that guy.
Yeah, and it's just the way his presence and what he does. I mean, yes, there are times that he scores a bunch, but it's like an enforcer in hockey, right? A little bit. Just having his presence on the court, you feel protected. You feel like, hey, there's a guy that's got our back on the glass, is going to throw their body on the floor. And, this NCAA tournament, which we have been talking about for weeks, we knew that Keisei Tominaga was going to be the darling of it, that everybody was going to talk about Keisei. But you could argue that a guy like Juwan Gary would be more detrimental of a loss than even Keisei Tominaga, just because of that presence that he brings, the physicality that he brings, that really what he does on the defensive end, how he can lock down so many different guys. He is a critical piece, and he is the old guy at this point. He's the one that's been here and done that, but I think he's ready for the moment. And you heard you kind of take that for granted too. A guy and Bryce Williams would be the same way, but Juwan Gary's from South Carolina, North Carolina, and so the fact that it's drivable for some of these guys and their families that are going to actually have lots of friends and families in the stands as well.
John in Omaha on our text line said, I've been a fan of Husker basketball since Joe Cipriano was our coach. That takes you back to the 70s. I remember looking up to those Husker players so much. I'm so excited for these players with their chance to really make another mark in Nebraska basketball history. I think they're going to do it. Go Big Red. Again, that's John in Omaha. I agree with you, John. I think they're going to get it done tomorrow. This is a time of year that I think it's acceptable to league cheer a little bit. I think your league kind of builds its reputation with what you do in March, the non-conference in March. Good day for the league. Illinois looked good, particularly in the second half. Michigan State looked great from the jump as they beat Mississippi State. So Illinois was a winner in their match. So 2 Big Ten teams on to the second round. And the Big Ten and the men's NIT went 3-0 with Iowa winning, Ohio State winning, and Minnesota winning. So the Big Ten on the men's side's done well. Early moments of postseason play. I believe.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there in the stands and chant Big Ten, but what your teams do this time of year is important to this time in a year from
You're
now.
right.
And getting, like saying, hey, how many teams in the Big Ten are going to get in? Well, let's look back what they did last year and how far they went. It's why the women, I think, got a couple of nods this year because of how good they were last year. So. In the conference. So it's yes, you do actually want to root for the teams in the conference, but I'm not going to be like the SEC chants.
No.
I'm not going to do that. But yeah, absolutely going to root for the Big Ten. By the way, Peyton Robb up 11-3 right now in the third period.
He got a squeaker in the first round. He barely got out. I think he won 1-0 or 1-0. I'm sorry, my soccer term jumps in there. But yeah, that's great that he's pounding his way into this. Should be the fourth.
You're looking
Husker.
at a major decision. Yeah, and a major decision, which is extra points. So he's up 11-3 with 40 seconds to go here in the third.
That would make the fourth Husker to the quarters, right? Yeah, my goodness. That's fantastic. With still Silas Red to come. You've got Silas Allred
Lenny
to come. Lenny Pinto still to come, and Antoine Taylor.
Antoine Taylor, yep.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we'll keep an eye on that as we make our way through this rest of the hour. Again, our coverage from down in Memphis brought to you by John Henry's. They are the official HVAC, plumbing, and electrical partner of Husker Athletics. We're back to hear from the birthday boy, Sam Hoiberg. We'll do that next.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more for the new year. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 GMC Terrain SLE for $389 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit. Must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer GM vehicle to qualify. $1,995 down payment and first payment plus $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires April 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Woodhouse Lincoln wants to redefine your driving experience with our stunning lineup of Lincoln vehicles. Come visit us in store off 114th and Giles Road or online anytime at woodhouselincoln.com.
Lease a 2023 Lincoln Nautilus for $459 a month for 39 months, 10,500 miles per year, or receive 0.9% APR for 60 months. With approved credit, security deposit waived, $3,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, this is Husker national champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. I'm in studio. Jessica's been in Memphis all day with the Cornhusker basketball team as they get ready for their NCAA first-round matchup tomorrow night against Texas A&M. It's a 5:50 tip. So pregame coverage with Kent Pavelka, Jake Muehlheisen will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So drive time. You'll be heading home from work. Listen to those two guys as they get you geared up and ready for the game. Well, today happens to be the birthday of Sam Hoiberg. Jessica caught up with the birthday boy earlier today.
Well, happy birthday, Sam Hoiberg. Is there any better place you'd rather be celebrating your birthday?
Nope. Favorite time of the year, so this has got to be the best spot.
You know, what was it like for you to see Nebraska pop up on the screen on Selection Sunday?
I mean, literally a dream come true for me. It's been something that I have been dreaming of doing as long as I can imagine. So seeing that name come up and just knowing it was going to happen, it was a really cool feeling.
You've been a part of lots of March Madnesses, but how has it been different? Has it felt different going through this as a player and going through the practices and being a part of it?
Yeah, it's very surreal. I mean, I don't think it's really going to hit me until I'm out on that court that I'm playing in March Madness, but just being a part of it as a player is just such a dream come true, as I've said. And I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I'm sure this one will take the tops, but what's been your favorite March Madnesses of the past? Do you have a favorite team that you watched your dad coach during this time?
Yeah, I mean, that Iowa State team that made the Sweet 16 has got to be my best memory from it. We went to San Antonio for the first 2 rounds, beat North Carolina on, I think there was 3 seconds left. DeAndre Kane hit a layup to take the lead. And then playing UConn, who ended up winning it all that year without George Yang. We could have won that one too, but that was in New York City. So just traveling with that team and seeing the success that they had was really fun.
Talked to you a couple months ago, and you had talked about how much it meant to you for this program to get to where you guys are. So the fact that it's come to fruition, what's it been like being a part of it and helping your dad and this program get to where it is right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really come full circle from being on that team that was only won 10 games 2 years ago and just watching it all happen as a redshirt. It was something that I wanted to be a part of the change, and I didn't know what my role would be in that, but being an actual player on this team and playing real minutes has been something that's always been a dream of mine, and being on a team that's in March Madness and we've really turned it around is just such a dream come true.
I've been asking everybody this to get the different perspectives, but when did you know that this team might be pretty special?
I think right away, as soon as we got all the pieces. I was a big part of the recruiting process, hosting these guys on their visits like Rink and Bryce and Joe. But once I saw who they were and the type of people that they were, I knew that we had a ton of talent, and I knew that our culture was in the right place to where we really had a chance to be good. And me and Rink have been talking about it all the way back to his visit. He did not want to come to a team that was just going to be in the Big Ten. He wanted to compete to be at the top of the Big Ten, and we did that. And now we're in March Madness, and we want to make history.
The unselfishness of this basketball team, when you guys share the basketball and find the hot hand, how much does that elevate a team when you have a group of guys that it's bigger than just oneself?
Yeah, I mean, we have so many different guys that can get it going, and we all realize that. Obviously, Casey is the one that gets a lot of the attention, but we know why he does, because he's so fun to watch and he's so entertaining. But he knows when he doesn't have the best night, you can get it to a guy like CJ or Bryce or someone else that's going to score. And we all love each other. We all play for each other, and it's just so important, especially at this time of year, to play for each other.
I've talked to you a lot about your role and the importance of your role, but this coaching staff goes on and on about your defensive captain, and so how much pride do you take in the steps that this team has made defensively and the role that it's played in where this team is right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I definitely take a ton of pride in, and I remember seeing that our defense was in the hundreds in I think middle January, and I was pretty disappointed in that. I knew that we had more talent than to be a better team in that, and then from February on, we've been one of the best defensive teams in the country, so it's been really cool to see as a defensive guy myself, and I just want to see us put it all together in this tournament.
What is it about defense that you like playing that you know that you can contribute?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just mainly effort, and you got to know where you're going to be and be in the right spots to be a really elite defender, but I think that a lot of it is just purely effort, and that's something that I can completely control myself, and I just love that about it. I can always put in 100% of the effort all the time, and that's really helped me in my defense.
Looking at Texas A&M, they're physical, they crash the boards hard. What does it take for an entire team to slow them down in that regard?
Yeah, we all got to hit first and be really physical on the boards. It's something that we've been going through the whole season. I mean, we've had a few games where we really struggled in that part, but I think we also came back from those moments. You look at the Rutgers away game, I mean, they pounded us on the boards, and that's something that we've really learned from, and hopefully we can take our past defeats from that and turn it into a victory this time.
How have the preparations been? You guys have been so good at that throughout the entire season. How has it been this week?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think we're really focused right now. We obviously have such a great coaching staff who's going to put us in the right spots, and I think the guys are very focused, and we're just trying to zone in and zone out all of the kind of extra stuff that comes with being in March Madness, because we got to focus at the task at hand, which is winning this first game.
Last thing, you just mentioned it. This team's never done that before. What would it mean to this group to make history for Nebraska basketball?
Yeah, I mean, at least in my opinion, I don't think this season's really a success without getting that win. Obviously, we've done a bunch of great things, but if we don't get that win at the end, it just doesn't really feel fulfilling, and I think a lot of us share that same kind of thought process, so we're going to do whatever we can to get that win.
Sam, I appreciate your time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
How you want to talk about a storybook ending? I know that Kent said that earlier about writing a story about this team, but Sam Hoiberg's the young kid that is in the stands watching his dad coaching and then wanting to be a part of turning this thing around here at Nebraska and getting to share it with his dad. I mean, that to me also could be its own story, its own movie that's produced on Sam Hoiberg's story. Also, I didn't get this on recording, but remember the last Fred Hoiberg coaches show? We had somebody text in.
About golf?
Coach Hoiberg loved the question, asking about the golf and where Sam and Fred stood in terms of golf. And Fred said that he was third in the family. And I asked him, and he said, yeah, I can confirm that. So I was shocked. I didn't think he would relinquish that. But he said, you know what? I'm the best basketball player, so I can give up being the best golfer.
Twin brother Charlie's a pretty good golfer. In fact, he's on a golf scholarship right now doing that type of thing. I've fallen into this trap, Jessica, and I shouldn't. But sometimes I don't appreciate Sam enough because I'm kind of thinking, coach's kid. But I know he's some fans' favorite player on this team because things happen when he comes into the game. Positive things happen.
Yeah, he doesn't always let it step.
But, things, I mean, I think his plus minus one game was like plus 20, and he didn't, I think his only points were a couple of free throws. So he just finds a way to affect the game, make plays, and, yeah, like it's not on the stat sheet so much as it is like, wow, who deflected that pass? Or who took a charge? Or who set that pick? All those little things. Or who dove out of bounds and saved the ball, saving the possession? Well, so many times, it's Sam that's the one that's doing that. And I know, like Art in Los Angeles has said, that's his favorite player on the team, and I totally agree with that. All right, good stuff. Again, our coverage all day long from down there has been brought to you by John Henry's. When we come back, it's Thursday. Last segment of the hour. The joke of the week from Cole is next.
Take your car buying experience to new heights with Woodhouse Mazda. Shop our full lineup of luxurious CUVs that will transform the way you travel, like the spacious and sophisticated Mazda CX-90 or the sleek and sporty Mazda CX-5. Plus, lease the 2024 Mazda CX-50 Select for just $399 per month. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax, title, license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number MM240366. Offer expires April 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
ahead.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales, and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Final segment of the show tonight. We leave this on Thursday nights up for Cole's Joke of the Week.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back
Yeah.
in a special March Madness edition of the Joke of the Week. Now, I don't know if you guys, and Jess, I think you're with us. I don't know if you guys had heard.
Am I back too? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. You're
Okay,
with us.
okay.
And I'm really glad you could be here for this. I don't know if you knew this, the website for the Indiana men's basketball team, apparently it was down for a lot of the year this year. Apparently they were having a hard time stringing together 3 W's.
Woo! That was a good one, Cole. That one might have been your best one.
I appreciate it. You know, and I wanted to pick somebody like Creighton, but the truth is
They're in the tournament,
Creighton's
yeah.
a 3 seed in the tournament. So
A little hard to do that.
Yeah.
So couldn't string together 3 W's. That would be a problem on a website. Yeah. Well done. I'm going to give that. I'm in a 7 range on that, Jess.
What'd you say?
I'm in a 7 range with that joke.
I might give it an 8. I like it. Cole's not really a guy that talks any trash. So for him to kind of bring that out right now and to kind of show a little saltiness, I'm gonna give him an 8.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shane?
That's one of your highest scores for me, Jess. You're
Shane
usually
gives
Well, half the time I don't get your jokes. Half the time I'm like, I don't understand. But
Crypto gives you a perfect 10. Shane a 9.9. Tim in Minnesota an 8.9. So yeah, that was solid. That was solid.
I appreciate it.
Very, very well done. And perfect timing, too. I mean, I think these jokes that you time up like Halloween or Valentine's Day or something, those are just really, really solid. Justin gives you a 9.9. That's good. I think it's a good omen, Jess, for tomorrow's games, right? I think those are a really good omen.
I agree. You know what else is a good omen is Husker wrestling. Antrell Taylor's up 11-9 right now, holding on in the final seconds.
My goodness, he could be the 5th Husker into the quarters. That's
3,
incredible.
2, 1, he does it.
Wow.
He's
And
in.
still have Lenny Pinto and Silas all ready to go. Wow. Huskers having themselves a meet. Husker in Hanover gives you an 8. Andy with a 9. Oh, man, you're just rocking it. I mean, that's just well done. Carla, good one, Cole. Great delivery. So Cole hits his March Madness. He's on fire. He's on to the next round, I think, Jessica, with that joke.
I think so.
He advances.
I think he is.
He advances.
He survives and advances.
Survives and advances. Hey, I know you have a chance tomorrow maybe to talk to the Huskers' new athletic director. Maybe we hear some of that on the halftime show tomorrow night as Troy Dannon is there. And so this is pretty exciting. I think it's great that the new athletic director jumping right in and showing up in Memphis. A lot of Husker media down there, and there'll be a lot of Husker fans that he can go meet as well.
Absolutely. He was up in the stands today when I had met him. So, yeah, I mean, important to be here and as a leader of this department. And, hey, let's go win a couple basketball games tomorrow and keep the wrestling rolling as we speak.
Love it. Great stuff. Great work down there tonight. As always, go out and enjoy Beale Street. Don't go to bed by 9 tonight. That would be disappointing if that happened again tonight. Good stuff from Jess all day long in our cover center, brought to you by John Henry's. Thanks to Duke and Nicole. Cole with those outstanding March Madness joke to get us all fired up and ready for some Husker basketball. The men at 5:50, pregame at 5, the women at 9:30, pregame at 9 tomorrow night. Have yourself a great evening. Go Big Red. Keep all these good vibes happening with wrestling, men's and women's basketball all weekend long. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or Valley Irrigation